criminal justice, healing, education. Let's awaken the people. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are currently watching from. My name is Holly. I am the founder of Morning Mimosas, but you guys should know that by now. And as you guys do know, Morning Mimosas values human life, criminal justice, healing, and education for the Black and minority communities with a note that we love everybody. So before we get started, I like to do what I call housekeeping tools. Uh, big customer of Imuna soaps and essentials. So I will always show you guys this at the beginning of every episode. If you guys like amazing skincare products that is made with love and made with natural ingredients, please shop Imuna soaps. And if you guys are shopping there, please remember to use the code MM23 for 5% off. Okay. I always want you guys to remember use the 5% off using the code MM23 on immunasoaps.com. All the information is right here, 5% off all 9 collections. Make sure it's a minimum purchase of $7, but you guys can use the code as much as you want. But just make sure you guys are shopping with Imuna soaps and essentials. They're an amazing brand. I use them for a long time before I even started promoting them on the podcast because they're amazing. So just please go and support Imuna soaps and essentials. Okay. Once again, use code MM23 to get 5% off immunasoaps.com. Make sure that it is a minimum of $7 when you purchase. And then another big housekeeping tool I want to get before I start this case is I want you guys to take a look at my flower crown. I will wear this flower crown every episode that you guys will see me on because I love Ganell's Crafts, guys. Please, if you love to shop Black owned, women owned, or if you just want a piece that's made with love, please head over to Instagram and check out Ganell's Crafts today, please. This flower crown that she created for the podcast is absolutely amazing. So please go support. They have an amazing sale going on right now. So please head over and check that out. But let's get into the case. I'm going to go ahead and show Miss Helen Beckam again. This is Miss Helen Beckam. Guys, we're taking a little trip, just a little bit. We're going to go here real quick. Taking you back to the 70s, guys. My. So, unfortunately, this case took place in the fall of 1970. So we took it back about 53 years. It'll be 57, or excuse me, 54. In October, it'll be 54 years. But I wanted to address this case because no matter how many years have gone by, the quest for justice is still the same. I wanted to bring forth her case for 2 reasons. Reason 1, to show you guys what happens when cases go years and years and years with no resolution. And 2, because it doesn't matter how many years go by, the quest for justice is still the same. So, Miss Helen Beckam was a 43-year-old woman living here in Denver, Colorado. And on the night of October 6, 1970, there was a 911 call to 6631 East 24th Avenue, which is this house here. Obviously, this is what it looks like now, but back in the 70s, it looked a little different. But this is the home that Denver police were called to. And when Denver police were called to this home, they were called because of a medical emergency. And it turns out that it wasn't a medical emergency. Miss Helen was unfortunately found shot multiple times in her home. When researching this case, my frustration with cases that are, especially this one, this is 53 years plus. So there's no crime scene photos. There's no information on whether it was a robbery or, if there was like a vendetta against her back in the 70s or beforehand. There's no information on her case. And that's why I come on this platform to talk to you guys about these cases, because I'll be very honest with you. Well, let's go ahead and take a look again. Miss Helen, if she was alive, she would be almost 97 years old. So I need people to put that into perspective. Her life was taken from her when she was 43. So she should be turning 97 this year. Just a lot of frustration. I'm going to go ahead show you guys. So this is Denver back in the 70s. Specifically, this is Colorado Boulevard back in the 70s. You guys see how things were very cheap back then, and just want to give credit to the Getty's images for this specific photo. Shout out to you guys for all the great images that you guys do. But yeah, this is Denver back in the 70s. This is an aerial photo of Denver back in 1970 as well. So just to give you guys a perspective on how things looked back then. And then this is another shot of Denver back in the 70s. So just to give you guys a perspective on how things looked in this in Denver back in the 70s. So, like I said, there's not too much that's known about this case. All that is known, which I will go ahead and share with you guys now, is this information that was provided to me by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation's cold case information. This is what they know, and I will go ahead and read it to you guys for those who don't like to read. So, on October 6, 1970, at the location of 6631 East 24th Avenue in Denver, on that afternoon, so I apologize, I said evening, but it was the afternoon. The members of the Denver police responded to the residence of Miss Helen on a report of a medical emergency. Upon arrival, they found the 43-year-old woman deceased. She had been shot to death. Guys, today is February 17th, 2024. 53 years plus. And to this day, they don't know what happened. They don't know anything. And I say that, with a huge side eye, right? This is the 70s, right? So even though Black women are still not valued as they should be, we definitely were not valued back in the 70s. So the fact that her case was unsolved doesn't too much surprise me, ladies and gentlemen. It's very disheartening that this beautiful woman was shot to death in her own home, and there's no information on whether it was a robbery or, a vendetta or anything like that. When researching some of these cases, sometimes you're able to find, a treasure trove of information that you're able to present to the public so, someone can come forward. I'm going to keep reiterating, this was 53 plus years ago. Okay, it'll be 54 in October. So most people that were around back then are either very elderly, let's be honest, because like I said, Miss Helen, she would be almost 97, right? But putting into perspective that this case has been freezing, because it's 53 plus years, ladies and gentlemen. So just put that into perspective on how long it takes for people to truly get justice, especially, of the minority community, because you guys know that's who we focus on. I'm a minority woman, so that's what we focus on. So there's not too much information. I couldn't even find if she had children. I couldn't even find if she had like a next of kin, like either, children or grandchildren or great grands. Couldn't find any of that. There's just not too much information on her case. And it's very disheartening, because what does that say about our justice system? when these cases linger for years and years and years. It says the main part, right, which is somebody got away with the crime all those years ago. And for 50 something, well, I mean, let's be honest, the person that may have did it they might be dead, right? 53 years is a very, very long time. And I will go ahead and show her face again. Although it's been a very long time since Miss Beckham lost her life, that doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve justice, especially because, she may have descendants that are still alive that want to know what happened to their family member all those years ago, So I come on here to say this, guys. I chose this case today because I want you guys to please put into perspective time. Okay. Time goes on, but that doesn't mean it goes on for the families of the victims or the true officers that truly cared about the case. Now, like I said, this is 1970, so a lot of those officers are probably deceased now. Let's just be honest. So it's probably, fresh faces looking at looking at this case, maybe trying to get it solved. I'm gonna be honest, I'll be one of the fresh eyes to look at this case. Maybe I can put something into perspective. There's not really too much you can do though. Let me go ahead and show her home again, because like I said, this is the home that it took place in, but you have to remember this is what Denver looked like back then. So the home didn't look like that back then. It's like I said, very, very disheartening that no one came forward even then. I know Denver was definitely was becoming a busier city by the 70s. So um, the fact that like the next door neighbors didn't see anything or hear anything, this is obviously before cameras and technology advancing. Back then it was more like landlines. I think internet didn't even come into play until the 80s. So it's just there were just a lot of things that this case did not have that it desperately needed. Um, maybe some more dedicated detectives to look deeper into it, maybe canvassing a little bit more. There just was not too much going on to get this case solved. I mean, look how many years have lingered with this woman not getting justice. I mean, it's just really disheartening. So let's go ahead and take a look at the area of which this crime took place. It's where the pin drop you guys see right there. This is the area that the murder took place in the 70s. For those of you who are familiar with Denver, the closest cross street would be 24th and Monaco. Like I said, very, very disheartening that someone in the radius that I chose when I was looking into this case knows something about what happened to Miss Helen and probably died with it. Let's just be very honest. They probably died knowing that information, and it's just very disheartening. When I look at this area, I've driven by here many a times as a kid and then as an adult, and I just think about how much Colorado and Denver has grown. And I'm just looking at this map that I'm currently showing you guys, and I'm like, no one knew anything about what happened, even in the 70s. It's just, when I say that, that truly blows my mind. It truly blows my mind. Because, like I said, she passed away at 43, and she should be almost 97 years of age. So it's just very disheartening. It's very disheartening what happened to Miss Helen, and she deserves true justice. Like I said, we don't know what truly happened to her. We're gonna go ahead and show this again, because, like I said, this is the only information that has been given to the public is this synopsis that has been given to us by the Denver police. I don't know if they're even going to continue to look into this case because so much time has elapsed, so much witnesses have probably passed on, lack of finding, family members who may have known something about Miss Helen and what happened to her. The 70s was a very interesting time era. I'm going to just go ahead and mention that. It was a very interesting time era. We had the disco and, just growing nonsense with, getting out of, segregation. As we all know, we were getting out of segregation a little bit, even though it wasn't, perfect by then, but we were slowly getting out of that by then. So it was just a lot. And then obviously I'm going to mention the elephant in the room. You guys know me. Um, she was a Black woman in the 70s who was murdered. They probably, and I hate to say it like this because I care so much, right? Um, they probably didn't care enough. Let's be honest there. They probably did not care too much, and that's very, very disheartening. But I care. So once I become a detective, I'm gonna do my part to see if I can get some kind of resolve for Miss Helen because she deserves the truth. She deserves justice. She deserves to know what happened. Her family members, her descendants, whoever's still here, deserves to know what happened to Miss Helen. So, guys, I know today was very brief, but like I said, there's not too much on her case. Um, so I just pray that whoever listens to the story, and knows something about what happened on October 6, 1970, at 6631 East 24th Avenue in Denver, Colorado, to Miss Helen, whether it was a robbery, if somebody had a motive against her, if you know something about what happened even back then, like, and I'm mostly probably just talking to maybe like the grandchildren who may know like stories, come forward. She still deserves justice no matter how much time has elapsed. I need you guys to really think about that. That's the thing that's really hard about this case is how much time has elapsed. But it's time for her to get justice because all victims deserve justice. As you guys know, this is Morning Mimosas. We value human life, criminal justice, healing, and education for the Black and minority communities. We'll see you guys next Saturday. Until next time.